Stop buying this camera equipment that you cannot afford. And even if you can afford it, I have a better way. I wish somebody would have told me that camera equipment rentals existed. Hey everyone, I'm Cher, the filmmaker mom, somewhere on set coexisting between motherhood and filmmaking. I make videos about my film life mixed with a little bit of motherhood. So today I want to get right into it because time after time I get so many messages in my DMs about what is the best camera to use, what camera could I use, what lens should I use, and I just want to tell you guys right now, stop buying this camera equipment that you cannot afford. And even if you can afford it, I have a better way. I wish somebody would have told me that camera equipment rentals existed before I went out in 2016 and charged $4,000 worth of camera equipment at Best Buy. I was living in Arkansas at the time and they did not have, or at least I was not aware of any camera rental locations. So, hey, I was young. This was 2016. The best thing I knew what to do is go finance it. So I went to Best Buy. The cameras that I purchased were a Sony a6500 and a Sony a7R II. At the time, those were really good cameras. I had met with my mentor. Shout out to Jeremy Smith, yes, from Bedford Camera and Video. Anyone who's from Little Rock, you know all about Bedford Camera and Video. Jeremy knew that I had purchased my first DSLR, which at the time was a Nikon D3200. She was red. I named her Redbone. That was just the name of my first camera. And so when I went and talked to Jeremy at Bedford, I asked him, like, what should I get if I am going to go to the next level? Like, I'm really ready to go all in with video. And he told me to get a Sony camera. So I believe I opened up a line of credit with Bedford, and I think I charged a few things there, like a $700 lens, okay? Because I needed a wide angle lens. Can we please get him to stop? I had got a wide angle lens. The lens was like $700, okay? That was the most money I had ever spent on a lens. And I charged it because it was 6 months free financing. I just wish I had known so much better. So when it was time for me to purchase the a6500 and the a7R II, I said, hey, I'm gonna go to Best Buy. You get free financing for 12 months. So that means they're not charging any interest. I thought, sure, no problem. I'm gonna have this $4,000 paid off in a year. Psych. And do you know what happens when you don't pay off the interest when the interest-free period is up? All that interest from the past 12 months comes flooding back. So in addition to me not paying off the $4,000 worth of equipment, now I had 12 months of interest that was added to my Best Buy bill, which was like $800. Okay. Then I moved to Dallas and I was working out here, and I think it was Misha of Lavishly Luxe Studio. And when I partnered with her and started working, she told me that you can rent your camera equipment. And there's this place called Aperture Rent. So today I'm gonna tell you guys all about Aperture Rent. I've been using Aperture Rent now for about 5 years. I had even worked my way up because I was renting so much. I ended up being in like the loyalty program that they have. So every time I would rent camera equipment, I would automatically get a code that would give me 15% off. But something happened to my account and I ended up having to start all over with my rewards points. So now I only get 10% unless I find a discount code. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I want to help you guys save money. So basically, Aperture Rent has a few locations across the country. You just have to go on to aperturerent.com and they have all the gear that you need. I'm talking cinema cameras, black magic, lights that you need, audio equipment, you name it, they've got it. They're very affordable. As far as rentals are concerned, I think the minimum you can do is like a 3-day rental, or they have custom options where you can rent equipment. Now, when you're first starting out, I do want to say they're not going to give you a Sony FX6 and like 6 prime lenses for you to rent, because I don't know how they score you, but before you're able to get your equipment, they like have a spending limit. And so over time, as you are renting from them, your trust level increases with the company. So Say for example, one time, I think the first time I rented I rented two Sony A7S3s. The value on that was like $15,000. When I went to pick up the equipment, they told me, well, you're not authorized for this much, so you're gonna have to put a deposit down on your car just in case something happens. And so that was pretty much something that I had to pay out of pocket until I returned the equipment. One thing that I like about Aperture Rent, just in case you're like me and you're worried about what if I drop the camera, what if I drop the lens, what if I break it, they have an insurance option. So when you're searching for what it is that you want on the website, you can either choose uninsured or insured. So if you go with the insured option, it's going to charge you a few more dollars, but at least you'll have that peace of mind, especially if you don't have business insurance. Just in case something happens to the camera or whatever the piece of equipment is that you have at the time, just in case something happens to it, you will be covered. Now, in Dallas, Aperture Rent does close at 5:30, okay? It's right off of the Dallas North Tollway, not too far from the Galleria Mall. So you just wanna make sure that at the time of when it is time for you to return your rental, you get there before 5:30. Because if you do not get there before 5:30, you better believe you will have an email in the morning that is charging you an additional fee, an additional day. So depending on how much stuff you rented, that could be an additional, $50 or whatever. Usually they're pretty reasonable depending on what you get. But also double check, double, triple, quadruple check your equipment before you give it back. A couple years ago, and I almost stopped dealing with Aperture Rent because they made me so upset. I had rented some Aperture lights, and it comes in the big case and they have the remote control to control the lights. I rented two of those lights, and we're talking, these are $1,000 lights, okay? If you buy these yourself, the Aperture lights. I know, because when you go to Aperture Rent, they open all of the equipment. They show you, if you have the lens, they take the lens cap off and show you that the lens is not scratched or anything like that. And so when you return all the equipment, they have little codes on everything. So they scan everything in. Well, this particular time that I rented these two lights, I know that the clerk did not show me two remotes in that light bag, in those light bags. And lo and behold, I looked everywhere because they said, oh, you didn't bring the remote back with your rental. I said, there was not two remotes. There was only one. Do you guys know I never found that remote that they claimed I had, but I knew it was not in the bag. I knew it wasn't in the bag. And they charged me, I forgot how much it was, maybe $25, but I was mad I was highly upset, pissed off, if you will. Okay, I was pissed off. I was upset because I knew that remote wasn't in there. Nobody on set. We went back to set and we checked and no one found a remote ever. So they got me, and I almost stopped using Aperture Rent from then on. But I ended up coming crawling back because compared to other camera rentals that they have in Dallas, you really just cannot beat the price, the convenience, and just the flexibility of being able to rent whatever you want. So now that we're past that, I absolutely love renting from Aperture Rent. And I know you all are trying to be content creators. You are content creators, and I see you. You are doing so good with your content. And I just want to let you know that in 2024, if you want to level up on your content, rent first. If you do not have all of the gear, go rent it. Save up a little bit. And then if you're renting stuff for your client because you want to impress them, make sure that you bake that cost of equipment into whatever it is that you are charging the client. And just let them know up front, depending on the look that they're going for. If they don't want an A6500, which is dinosaur, I'm filming on the A6500 right now. But if you talk to your client and let them know, well, hey, if you're going for a really cinematic look, then you might want to rent a Komodo, okay? If you want to rent a red Komodo, they have that on the website, and it's just going to cost you several $100s, but you can do it. If you want to shoot red, if you want to shoot Black Magic, you Canon people, yeah, they have Canon, they have Nikon, and then they also have gimbals for you to use. Now, the one thing that they don't have that I wish they did have is drones. So you guys are on your own with the drone, because I don't know why they don't rent out drones. Well, yes, I do, because people are reckless with drones, and it's just, they can get lost, and that's a topic for a whole nother video. But in 2024, if you see someone, your favorite YouTuber or Instagrammer or content creator, if you find out what lens they are using, everyone creates content differently. Everyone's lighting system is different. And so I just encourage you guys to rent your equipment before you buy it. Do not be like me and go charge your equipment unless you just got it like that and you're booked and busy 24/7 and you know you can cover the cost of charging it and doing the interest-free financing for 12 months. Don't be like me. Okay? That's all I have. So if you like this content and want to see more stuff like this, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.